Hello, humans. This is Mr. Chang from Anatomy and Physiology class. So, today, what we're going to be talking about is wound healing. So, wound healing occurs in four main stages. Okay. So, depending on the severity of what your wound is, it can take anywhere from 3 days to 6 months to fully heal itself. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the four stages of wound healing and we're going to compare it to a type of home repair. So, today, we're going to be talking about if a tree, for example, smashes into the roof of your house. Okay, so let's start this slideshow. Okay, as we see here, these are the four main steps in pictures of wound healing. So first is hemostasis, next is inflammation, third step is proliferation, and the last step is remodeling. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about each step and then compare it to a broken roof. So this is what our injury looks like to our roof. So just imagine there was a big storm or something like that, or tornado or a hurricane, and there were pieces of wood flying in the air and one smashed into the roof and it caused a ginormous hole. So this is what you see. So the first step in wound healing is called hemostasis. So what happens here is, well, first let's look at this diagram. So these blocks here represent your epidermis, your epithelial cells. So this is the surface of your skin. This middle part here is where you were injured. Okay, so you were stabbed or cut. Down below, in between these red lines, it represents a blood vessel. So if you look at this injury, this little space here between the lines means that this cut went through the skin and went into the blood vessel. So what happens is when your blood vessels get punctured from a cut or a deep wound, platelets and erythrocytes get released from your bloodstream. So they're parts of your blood. Erythrocytes specifically are red blood cells. So the platelets come into contact with collagen, okay, which is in your epidermis, in your skin, and it results in the activation of something called fibrin and thrombin. What that does is it creates a mass. It's what we call a scab. So that's step one. A scab starts to form. Okay. So if we compared it to a analogy of a roof repair, the hemostasis would be we're covering the roof with a tarp, okay, just to make sure no debris gets into it and it stays a clean area, well, as clean as it could be. The second step is called inflammation. So in this step, neutrophils and macrophages, which are immune cells, they get attracted to the wound, okay, and they start destroying bacteria, infections, and other foreign objects that shouldn't be in your wound. So if you've guys ever felt something that's swollen, warm, itchy, anything like that, that usually means that your body is fighting some type of infection or bacteria, okay? And that's what inflammation comes from. Inflammation comes from your body, your immune cells, fighting a disease or sickness or eating bacteria or something like that. Okay, so this second step, again, inflammation, the immune cells come and clean up the site. So there is no debris or there's no disease or bacteria or anything like that. Okay, so again, if we're comparing this to a roof repair, this step would be we would have people come and clean out the site to make it all clean out the debris from the area, make sure in the hole there isn't a bunch of broken wood, things like that. So what they're doing is preparing the area to fix it. The third step here is called proliferation. Okay, so this step happens in 3 stages. So the first step is filling the wound. So if you see this red part here, okay, what happens is this gets filled with granulation tissue, okay? And what that does is it fills the hole. So when you get cut, there's not a permanent hole that's in your skin. Next, what happens is contraction and epithelialization. So new cells are formed. So if you look at these blocks, these are new skin cells, new epithelial cells. So they begin to form. They start to close the wound, Okay, so the scab is still there, but your skin is pulling together um, to finally close it. The cells that are important here are keratinocytes. Okay, and what they do is they actually create the new layer of skin. Referring back to home repair again, the roof. So the step of proliferation would be you have roofers, contractors coming in and actually fixing the roof. They're repairing the wood, they're repairing the structure, they're filling in the hole, and they're making sure that the hole is all covered up. So you have a new roof. And the last step is something called maturation, step 4. So this is when all the new skin is formed again, and the skin starts becoming stronger and more flexible. Okay, so the important items here to know are collagen fibers. So in the picture you see here, there are these lines. Okay, what the collagen fibers do is they create strength, so your skin becomes stronger where the wound site is. And the thing to remember, maximum strength is limited to 80% of your previous pre-injury strength. So even though your body repairs itself, it doesn't go back to total normal. And the last picture here we see is the final steps of fixing your roof. So remodeling, if there's any gutters you need to put on, any nails you need to stamp down. So any last minute adjustments to finally make sure the area is all set. And that's it for wood healing.